Hey guys, this is Morteza and I'm an assistant professor at the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at the University of Utah. Welcome to Microelectronics Design Automation Lab channel. We talk about the abstract and how to write it properly and the importance of title and everything. Now we jump into introduction. As we said, introduction is kind of the second important thing in the paper after abstract. And we have here, using introduction, we have the opportunity to uh, basically give a very good overview with some details of what we have to work on. So we should address the main challenges and again like big picture of how could we solve. So we don't want to go too much technical here. It's just basically convincing the reviewers that we can fulfill what we have promised. Okay, so depends on the number of pages that we are allowed. The material that we want to put in the introduction, the length basically may vary. So as we can see here, sometimes we have one to two paragraphs, to four paragraphs, so, like, so on and so forth. That is just like the limitations of the total length. If we have like if we will send it to if we plan to send it to a journal with 14 pages allowed, yeah, we can like having all of them can be like four paragraphs. But usually when most of our conference, most of our conferences, the page limitation is six, so we should make it shorter and more precise. So in one to two paragraphs, we talk about again it's with an introduction of the importance of the problem. So as you can see, kind of the most of the bullet points here are kind of the same with the abstract. Again, it has the same structure that for whatever that we say that okay, this is the issues of the current approaches, we should just support those more with more details and talk more about that, okay, how our approach is going to solve that. So we should make sure that we kind of solve all the problems that we are talking about in the for the previous approaches. So we have two to four paragraphs talking about issues with current approaches. Then we're gonna have one paragraph that I usually started with. We propose, for instance, Angel. The goal of angels are threefold. Okay, so here I give like what are the goals of angel, what we want to do with our tool, what is the general goals of that. We don't talk that much about how are we gonna implement that. We just say okay, this is what we want to do. Okay, it makes it very this threefold. It makes it very clear that okay, we have three goals, and basically we should have like kind of three goals for our paper in order to have a good publication. And this is like one paragraph that we dedicate to here. We're going to see an example soon. Then in like the following paragraphs, again, based on the length of the venue, we're going to talk how our proposed idea can solve the aforementioned previous work drawbacks and the promised goals. Okay, so again, here we don't go that much details. We don't say, okay, like we have like our neural network has three hidden layers, like with 64 nodes, so on and so forth. It's just saying that, okay, this is we use neural network. This is why it works. This is how it works. And just we kind of convince again that this approach will work. Okay. If you want to see, and we should basically, that's the purpose of that, for to the reviewers or all the readers that okay, this is how we are going to do that. If you want to see more details, go and see the next chapter. Okay, that we have more technical part basically. Then we have the results section. We have one paragraph, again completely the same with the abstract. Report our results in absolute and more importantly comparison times format. Then this is the kind of the extra paragraph that we have here. We should summarize the main contribution of the paper in a bullet points basically, such that it be such that our number of bullet points be between three to five bullet points. Okay, that means that if we're gonna talk about it in the in another video that okay how we gonna like start writing the paper, and again here is for the structure of the paper, but we should summarize the main contributions of our work in 3 to 5 bullet points. Okay, if you cannot think of more than 2 bullet points, that means that your work is doesn't have enough material to publish. If your main contributions are more than 5 bullet points, it means that okay, you should divide that. There are many materials here, so you need to divide this submission to 2 different submissions. You can have 2 papers out of. This is very important because it gives like a clear point. It gives a clear um, view to the reviewers that okay, this is what we have done. Okay, and then easily they can evaluate that okay, if these contributions were enough or not. Okay, so that is kind of the main purpose of these bullet points. The same thing basically for here, like when we talk about that, okay, are the goals are threefolds. Again, it gives like a very clear point that okay, these are like our goals. Okay, the reviewers can easily decide. They won't be confused that okay, what you have done, what was the goal of your work. Okay, then if it's convincing, if it's like enough good, basically, then they can go and check the how we have implemented all of basically our results section. So in Angel, let's take a look into that. Okay, so basically, again, the first paragraph is kind of an introduction. Then from here, we talk about the problem of the previous approaches, kind of, or a little bit more. I mean, in this case, because we had this was like 14 pages, the second paragraph was again a little bit more introduction of kind of the approaches, the general approaches. Then from here we talk about like the problems. Okay, again we start like from something like even though that we start kind of pointing out to the problems. Uh, okay, and then here we have that, okay, in order to reduce the size, so we're gonna address one of the problems that we have mentioned here. We say, okay, how using basically our work, our tool, we have um, address one of the problems that was mentioned. Then here we have this famous paragraph that, okay, we present Angel. The goals of Angel are threefolds. Okay, achieve a reusable, accurate, and fast model to meet the given specifications, reduce the number of required label training data, perform all the schematics design steps. So these are the goals. Okay, in this paragraph, we don't have space to talk about like how we are implementing that. We just say that okay, these are the goals, and then in the next paragraphs, we again in the high level, we talk about how we are achieving each of these goals. Okay, it's a for instance, in order to achieve a reusable, accurate, and fast model, which was the first goal, Angel uses a hybrid approach, for instance. Okay, then we talk. Okay, it has neural networks and why, how it works, so on and so forth. Then the next paragraph addresses the second, for instance, goal. In addition to using an efficient database, Angel divides the overall circuit, and basically that saves us the number of training data, for instance. And then we talk about a little bit like how we do that, like the third goal. And then here we have the paragraph for the result, okay, to validate our proposed approach. This where basically we did that, and this is like a summary of the result. Okay. And then this is that the most very important part here. The main contributions of the paper can be summarized as follows. Okay. First one, creating a database using a co-learning based neural network that significantly reduce the size of the required label data. So here we kind of summarize like both the goal and how we are achieving that. Okay, so this is kind of this complete summary of our main contributions. Again, an efficient and intelligent, fully automated analog circuit, generator, data, so on and so forth. Achieving a fast and accurate model, designing circuits with many design parameters, supporting many circuit topologies while few of them are created. So here we can, even though that here, like we have talked about kind of our results section, that already we have talked about that, but it's good that sometimes if we are able, we can again point out to our results sections here. So this makes it completely clear, super transparent that what we have done.